After that first night, we all knew that it was definitely going to lead to an animated series on a streaming service. Like, we did it, guys. We made it. Just got to put in another 9 years.
Yep.
When we started playing together, it was very much sort of like an underground wink and a whisper handshake sort of thing. Like, you would meet people at sessions and they kind of approach you afterwards and be like, so I hear your role play, right? Like, and it was sort of illicit.
I remember seeing Matt Mercer at a mocap session once and being like, you play Dungeons and Dragons, right? He was like, yeah. And I'm like, tell me more about these RPGs, man. What is it all about? And just those little conversations started to spark interest about getting together for a game. And it just, like gravity.
Some of us definitely knew each other better more than others. But I know personally, I hadn't met Ashley Johnson yet until she decided to sit down at the table with us and roll dice for that first time. So it was like, hey, God. What's up? I'm a druid.
That was intense. Coming to Matt and Marisha's apartment, sort of meeting a lot of the some people and jumping into a game where people are talking in accents. And I was like, oh my God, this is so strange. And I think I love it.
It was amazing how quickly it became narratively compelling, and even at that point was less of a conversation about range modifiers on crossbows, which is great, but
it's morphed over the years. But the one thing that I think has not changed at all from the first day is that we still have it started with, and we still have the same dorky exuberance and like to the hilt role playing.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there was a historical kind of a misunderstanding of what role-playing games were because of like the Satanic Panic and just a general misunderstanding that this was not a thing that most people could enjoy or was approachable. That's part of the reason we started even doing our thing online, is we kind of wanted to show people and give permission to be like, oh, this is something that me and my friends can do and it looks like a lot of fun, and feeling like it isn't going to be a scarlet letter on their chest to admit that they rolled dice with their nerd friends.
I feel like I couldn't stop talking about it. Even our home games, I was telling everybody, I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. How is everybody not playing Dungeons and Dragons? The greatest.
I'm sorry, who the are you?
We're Vox Machina. We up.
Let's go! Come on, work! Stella's here!
You can't be seriously considering them for such a task.
Our reputation is less than stellar. If killing for gold isn't getting us anywhere, maybe we try doing some good this time?
Boring.
I'll say I was one of the. There were a couple of us at the table who had played the game before, and I'd played a lot through high school. I literally pulled up an old outline for the sort of inevitable scripts that everybody who lives in this city eventually write. It has a dozen of these sitting there. I'm like, well, I'm never making this, and I was just like, this is going to be a lot of fun.
We created the characters on a lark as just this fun thing, but as you live and breathe them for 10 years, you find out so many things about them that, we didn't think about in the first game. All of that backstory and the character traits and everything, those come out as you're playing. And I think that's the fun thing about it, is you get to discover the characters. And nobody else gets to tell you you're wrong. Nobody else is giving you that input. It's coming from you. It's such a cool experience.
The great thing about these games is that so much of the story can be informed by some of the stats, and I rolled an intelligence of 6, which meant that he couldn't read, and that was all that I needed to know about Grog going forward, was that he was just a rage-bound muscle machine that is easily confused. And it was nice actually getting in with the other characters, because I figured someone that was so intimidating as he is, it would be nice if he liked shiny things and cute things and was very protective as well, and was like a big brother figure. So there's that dichotomy between the two sides of his coin.
I didn't really know what it all entailed outside of seeing my brother play with his friends, which it seemed like a lot of math whenever they were playing. Like they weren't as as RP heavy. And so sitting down at the table, I mean, you sit down at a table with Laura Bailey, and the second we start the game and she's like, hi, okay, I'm gonna get in there. I was like, oh shit, this isn't just like rolling dice, like we're acting. And, you know, through the course of playing this game, it becomes addictive in a weird way, because it's improv, and it's a way for, I mean, this sounds so cheesy, but us as actors to be able to have sort of theater of the mind with all of each other and just play and imagine. And it's changed my life in the biggest way. And I'm so grateful that I sat down at that table.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Ashley. Druid was one of the last classes left, and I couldn't decide. There were all these like subclasses between air and water and fire and all the elements. And I was like, well, I can't pick one. So my thing will be, I'm on a quest to catch them all. I'm gonna be all of them eventually. And that was it. As everyone else has said, now when we make characters in our current campaigns, we're like thinking about it for months.
Pages and pages of backstory.
Yes, just what do I want out of this character? But then it was like, anyone want a beer? Let's just roll some dice. But it was great because it really allowed for the world that Matt created to affect and inform our characters on this really grand way, just like real life.
And it was just supposed to be us around and laughing around a table for one night, so it really didn't matter. But we've spent a decade with these characters, first around a table, and then, you know, with The Legend of Vox Machina and with all the other places that we're bringing them to light. You spend that much time imagining a character, it's more nuanced in our minds collectively, and now a lot of minds, than any role I've ever been attached to in anything I've ever done. And it's been like that for like half a decade now. You know, it is the definition of a happy accident.
And if I may, in the process, finding out a lot about ourselves as we went. It's been great, and these characters are now so much a part of us, and it'll be wild to see these things that we just kind of crapped out in a night. Now they are the stars of a show, and it's pretty cool.
I suggest we run right now. We fight.
Part of it is like we all grew up being huge animation and cartoon fans, which probably led to us wanting to be in the voiceover business, you know, either indirectly or directly, and which also led us to being friends, which also led us to doing this show, which also led us back to cartoons. Like it really, like Marisha said, it really is full circle. We started as fans and became friends, and now are making the things that we hope will make other new fans.
For all the stories we played at home, which nobody had seen, we wanted to touch on some of that, of course, but the Briarwood arc with Whitestone for all of us was really the first time in a campaign that the themes got darker, where things got really serious, and where there were, beyond the early adventurer stakes of like, go fight this monster and help these people in this, small little hamlet that have a rat problem, the things you think about in fantasy games and such. The Briarwoods was definitely one of those stories where the drama, the stakes, and the player buy-in in the narrative really kind of hit a whole new level, and it became a favorite of ours. It became a favorite of our community. We were watching our stream, and so when it came to the opportunity to expand this series beyond just our initial hopeful attempt at like a 22-minute short, we were like, well, we have to jump into the Briarwood story then.
And I think I would add something that's really interesting about the Briarwood arc is that it sets up in success, and hopefully if we're able to make as many seasons of the show as we want, the entire story of Vox Machina. So it has ramifications not just in the first season, but in the second and any more that would follow after that. And that's really the nice thing about adapting our campaign, is that we can and have sat back and, you know, put up the chalkboard and said like, okay, how can we do this smartly? How can we do this and improve it in certain ways, but also make it a clever foundation for everything that's to come after this? And Briarwoods were perfect for that.